at the end of the show here, and had a great show as far as that goes. So we're finding out who the comics are. So I'm going to start with Mark. Mark, if you'll just kind of quickly tell us how you grew, where you're from, how you grew up, your family dynamic.
Yeah. So I grew up in California, Southern California. Started doing stand-up. Interesting story about, 14 years ago? Mm-hmm. Stopped for 10 years, though, and I'm back at it for 2 years in now.
Now I'm going to back up a little bit from there. Mom and Dad?
They're not here. They don't follow me at all.
I know that. But you had a... Did you live with a mom and a dad?
Yeah, I had a mom and a dad.
And
Stepdad raised me.
Stepdad, okay.
Hence Takamiya. Did that throw anybody off?
Oh, that was the stepdad thing?
Yeah.
Oh, so you just have to live with that.
Yeah, I have a Japanese last name, and I'm 6'2" and very white. So.
There you go. I kept looking for, man, those genes didn't do anything.
Something skipped.
Something. So what did your dad do?
The real one? No one knows. He just freaking took
What did your stepdad do?
Stepdad. He raised me, and I was like...
No, I mean, what do you do for a living?
Engineer.
Oh, okay.
He worked at Boeing.
And your mom, did she work?
Stayed home.
Stayed home. You have brothers and sisters?
Yeah, I have a sister, and she also stayed home.
So stayed home? Never got a job?
Yeah, never got a job. She's still home.
Still at home?
I didn't know that was an option, actually.
Apparently.
Actually, here's how my parents told me I had to leave the house. We were all sitting down, and they go, "We're moving to a two-bedroom, and we think it'd be weird if you shared a room with your sister." Then I was like, "Okay, gotta find a place."
How old were you then?
18.
Oh, wow. Right out of the chute, right out of high school.
Yeah, so if your kids are living with you, Sarasota, and they're over 25, freaking get them out.
That's right.
It's
That's
time.
Right. It is time. And then when you had your little hiatus there, we're talking about it.
Yeah.
You did. You were a recruiter, correct?
Tech recruiter. Yeah, I did tech recruiting for 10 years.
Successfully. Very well.
Super rich.
And did well. Did well. You pay for your own hotel room this week. I dig the shit out of that.
Actually, I've been at the condo and I haven't seen Ron once, so I don't know. Like, I shower. Ron, you can come to the condo.
I was right next to you, baby.
Oh, okay.
Very tricky, that Feingold. One more thing.
Yeah.
Was there anybody growing up in your family friend group that was an entertainer? Anybody you really knew well that did any kind of entertainment?
No, but I do remember my dad, stepdad, we'll refer to him as dad because that's what a dad does.
Close enough.
He raises somebody.
Yep.
My dad used to watch Carson, Smothers Brothers.
Yep.
And that was like our family thing. Like every night that was on TV. And I remember watching that and watching him laugh hard at that. And as a guy that worked long hours and worked so hard, if other people could make him laugh at the end of the day, I was like, I wanna do that.
Very cool. Very cool. Same block of questions to you.
I started comedy when I was 19 years old. This January will be my 30th year as a stand-up comedian. It's weird.
Tell us about your family, mom, dad, brothers, sisters, where you grew up.
I'm an Air Force brat. So my father retired as an Air Force colonel, so I was born in between semesters in Bloomington, Indiana, when the Air Force was paying for his stuff. You got Hoosier over there? And so we moved around a lot and had to adjust to schools and do all that. And I'm the baby of the family. And I think most comedians you'll find are the baby. Have you found that most comedians are the baby of the family?
No, I'm the oldest.
Well,
what about you, Mark?
You're the oldest. I don't know what he's talking about.
You're the baby. You're just a baby.
Yeah, sorry.
But
but most of the time, the baby is the one that wants to get the attention. Most of the time, they're the ones that are, doing something out of the ordinary or trying to get some kind of attention. That's what I found most comedians do. So anyway,
brothers
Washington,
and sisters.
Yep, I have an older sister, 2 years older. Her name is Renee. She's a real estate agent in Colorado, and that's where we really made our base, was Colorado. When we got there when I was 12, and we never left. Everybody's still in Colorado. And,
nice.
I left.
You just have the sister?
One sister that we know of.
Oh, okay. Because your dad did travel a lot.
Oh yeah, he did. He did.
You know, I'm always curious with your dad being military and a colonel military.
Yeah.
Did he insist on a lot of structure?
He had no sense of humor whatsoever, but the humor that he thought he had was really corny. Like, do we have military people in the audience tonight? This is an example of what my father's jokes would be like. He would say something like, rank times IQ is a constant.
That's funny.
25% of the audience gets it, though. You need a PowerPoint presentation for his humor.
And you have a degree
I have a master's degree in counseling,
in psychology, right?
Yeah, in counseling, in school counseling. I thought when I got married 22 years ago that I was going to get off the road and try to save my marriage, because I found a lot of comedians lose their marriage to this job. My wife was a lot more important to me than this job. So I thought, hey, why don't I become a school counselor, and then I'll get my comedy fix during the summer times. And I lasted 1 year in the Florida school system, and I said, fuck it, I'm out of here.
Came to see me.
Oh, that's right. I'm going back to McCurdy's. I'm tired of making all this money.
You have a lovely wife. You have a lovely wife.
That's right. But I met my wife on a cruise ship, and that's the best thing. I met her on a Holland America cruise ship, and she stuck out like a sore thumb because she was about 20. And been on a Holland America cruise ship. It's pretty.
And you got kids, right?
2 that I know of.
Yeah, that we know of. It's fine.
Yep.
One of each.
My oldest one is 16. And he's a football player. He's a kicker. I think he's going to be the first Jewish punter in the NFL.
Wow.
Be awesome. And my youngest boy is actually a cheerleader. He's been cheerleading since he was 4 years old. He's still doing it. Nice. And I think he was smart because he knew his dad doesn't have a savings account or a 401k.
There you go.
So that'll pay for college, is what I'm saying.
Nice. And so anybody in your life growing up close to the family or anything that was in entertainment? Aunts, uncles?
I come from a long line of clowns.
Yeah.
Actually, I do. I'm not joking. My uncle, and I have family in Omaha, Nebraska, and my uncle was a clown, and his name was Major Dots. And he had a son. His name was Minor Dots. So got my grandparents into it and everybody into clowning. I never did, but so that's where the comedy side comes through, I guess, on my side. Yeah.
And that was Minneapolis you grew up?
All over the place, but Colorado.
Colorado.
My wife grew up in Minnesota. She was a Minnesota
Vikings
that's her
cheerleader
when I met her.
That's right. I knew there was some Minneapolis. Do you have a degree? College degree?
Yeah, film electronic arts.
Oh. Have you done anything with that?
Nothing.
Okay.
I just wanted to get out of school. I was like, what degree? Is there one where you just write and smoke weed? And like, yeah, it's called film. So I did that.
Awesome.
I'm not curing any diseases.
I was close to that with theater.
Yeah.
All right, so at this point, you can bring the house lights up just a little bit more. If you guys have any questions at all for any of us on the stage, just address who that is and fire away anything that you're curious about. Yes? Nothing? Oh, right here. Yes.
I kind of interrupted you during your pap smear shtick, and I said to you, is there anything else you have? I'm curious to know where you want to go with that.
So you interrupted his show. You interrupted his pap smear bit.
That's the weirdest.
And you didn't finish it?
No, he's curious where I would have gone with it. Apparently you didn't pay attention. I went somewhere with it.
Should we do the show again?
But if you want, I'll go with it where now if you want.
Your wife is just shaking her head back there.
You turn to the left and you stop, and that's okay. I'm not saying you have to. I'm just curious to know.
You want to know more about pap smears?
You haven't been to 5. All right. Do you want a PowerPoint presentation?
Here's what's crazy about this conversation. You really think he didn't finish the bit. Everybody else heard the bit that he finished.
And you're still stuck in the past.
I don't know what happened to your brain at that point.
You blacked out.
This is what I would have done.
Okay. Wow. And that's the reason we're all different little flowers. And we have to learn to get along. Okay.
That's so good.
Another question? Anything? Yes. When we listen to comedy or watch, is there somebody, are there comics that we specifically listen and watch to get better, people that we look up to, type of thing?
Yeah. I'm a huge Bill Burr fan. Bill Burr is amazing. Every time I listen to him or watch him, I want to quit. If you haven't watched him before, I highly recommend it. Chappelle, of course, he's just genius. You watch other comedians and you realize some of the things that you're not doing. You pick it apart. It's a science. It's a formula. So that's the way we look at things. It's kind of like a math formula. You kind of pick it apart like you're diagramming a sentence. So that's the way we kind of look at these guys as opposed to entertainers. It's kind of hard for us to break apart from the structure as opposed to watching it.
Wait a second.
The two entertainers for me are Bill Cosby and Michael Jackson. I'm just kidding.
Isn't it weird? And I would have said Cosby too.
I'm just kidding. I like how some people are like, okay, if you can look past all that.
But you see,
No, for me it's Brian Regan, Daniel Tosh, Eddie Murphy.
Yeah. Bill Cosby growing up, I mean, really, I'm not going to tell you, was just amazing. And then several other comics that I've seen over the years. I'll tell you what, there's a guy out there right now that still to this day is one of the most underrated comics in the world, and I learned something, is Sinbad. He is absolutely incredible. I mean, he'll be here in January. I mean, we sit here, we see multiple shows. One of the things I can tell audience members, I think it's a very cool thing if you're a comedy fan. Come to a show that somebody you like, come to a show on a Friday or Saturday night and watch both shows. It is so cool to see the first show where you go and then to watch the second show and be able to see the structure, see the tricks, see the things that you thought were organic and just came off the top of their head and find out they did it exactly the same way. But the one guy who doesn't do that is Sinbad. Literally, he will do 5 shows here and they will be 5 different hour-and-a-half shows. He takes on a theme, he gets into it, and it just, and it's not, and I know him well enough, it's not all improvised. It's a lot of material. It's just like he has a library in his head, a file cabinet he can just pull from. But he is really an incredible act. He really is something else. Yeah.
Right on.
You're very welcome.
Thank you.
Do you want to be my agent?
Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, my agent. Appreciate it.
Go ahead. We need the work.
Nobody says no to that accent, by the way.
No, not at all.
You want to say
So this is
no
what's
to
going to
me?
happen. You're going to come over to my house. I'm going to make some steaks. We're going to get a camera out. You're not going to leave until we got product and content.
You're going to be big, kid.
He's from the Bronx. New York,
No.
Brooklyn, New Jersey.
Oh, you're a Boston guy.
Boston?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. I'm wrong.
He's insulted now that you mentioned New York.
Oops.
He's insulted. You're already dead. Yes, back here. No. Everybody. Now, sometimes comics will route themselves, and that'll work out. So, like, I'll let you. Are you playing now?
Yeah.
You're out of Orlando,
Right, I'm out of Orlando, but I was in Birmingham last week, and I was there for 2 days, Wednesday and Thursday, and then I came down here, and then I'll be in Winchester, Virginia for Friday, Saturday, later on in the month, and then I'll be in Fort Myers later down at the end of October, and it goes all over the place. And we even booked far ahead, like into next year, to Atlantis in the Bahamas. And
Any
things like
routing for you?
Denver, LA, San Diego, Arizona, bouncing around.
West Coast.
West Coast.
Yep. Yeah. It's a lot of people wonder if there's a circuit, where we as comedy club owners, like all in Florida, all get together and book people and run them through a circuit. Or there is not a circuit. As comedians, you try. It'd be wonderful if you could book Tampa and then Sarasota and then Fort Myers and then Miami and then Orlando and then Jacksonville and then Atlanta and but it's almost impossible to coordinate that. Okay.
I like those two guys with the Hawaiian shirts.
I just I always look forward to when you talk, sir. It's magic. We don't know what's going to happen.
Mafia.
And sleep.
I do like when you guys talk, everybody shuts up.
Yeah, exactly. Like, okay.
Are we good?
Another question. Anything? Yes, something back there? Yes?
Yes, sir. Where'd I get my boots?
I was just talking about that before the show.
1972. John Travolta called. He wants his boots back.
That was back when we all got laid.
I've always wanted to be 6 foot, and this makes it possible.
Online.
Online, yeah. All my stuff
It's
online.
amazing what you can get online now. You
Yeah.
can Google search anything, and boom, it comes up. Was there a question back there?
No, I'll let you touch them later.
Where was it, back here?
That sounded...
Go ahead.
Healthcare, groceries, bills. Mortgages.
Healthcare would be huge. Let me tell you what, as an entertainer, I ran into this. Go try to get health insurance when you're an entertainer. I have it because I have the club. It's so crazy. And I remember one when I was younger and just gotten married. I had the guy at State Farm I was with. He was going, "You need some kind of you need the supplemental insurance, for if you get hurt or something, because you're just you're an entertainer. If you're down, you don't have any income coming in." He goes, "Let me check that out for you." Aflac told me to fuck off. As an entertainer, they won't touch you.
That's right.
Because we're high risk, because we're entertainers. So we're high risk. You know who would write me? Lloyd's of London. Lloyd's of London said they would write me that type of insurance for $2,000 a year paid up front. They would only contract it 1 year at a time. And that's because we're considered so high risk, because we're,
Well, that was
dangerous.
just legs.
That was it. But you've done it successfully. And he's been married for a long time. He's had kids. You've still been able to go on the road. That takes a wife that is very understanding.
Very much so.
And you balanced it well. You can't find a fucking
It's
woman,
hard. No,
it's well known.
I do. To answer your question, I shoot for like 250 shows a year, and the hardest thing probably to deal with is STDs, because there are
Absolutely.
so many women.
Oh, God. Ones you don't even know about yet.
Yeah,
And they're just like, I've got what?
It's like STDs and then health insurance, and it's
Right. I didn't know I had to double condom for that.
I can't wait for Medicare. I'm so ready for it.
Yeah. The reason I'm in the club, and how many weeks of work?
I do maybe 30, 35 weeks.
Yeah, I'm still away from home a lot. And the reason that we have a club here is because when I married Pam, and Pam has a master's degree in theater, we came out of theater, and I'd been a touring comic for 10 years. But I was like, this marriage, I just seen too many of them fall apart. And I was like, I can't be away from home more than 25 weeks a year. I just didn't feel even comfortable with that. And so that's where I filtered into, hey, if we can get a club started somewhere we want to live, then I can stay in the business and maybe keep my marriage together. But most marriages don't make it.
It's not easy.
Very rare.
I got very lucky.
Yeah. Anything else? Yes, no, indifferent? Thanks a lot, everybody.
Thanks,
Thanks
you guys.
for coming
Everybody.
out. Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.